Welcome to part 1 of DevOps philosophy. My name is Tomasz Borstner. In recent years, industry has really changed a lot. Certain industry trends and innovation caused a big shift also in the way how business is being done. There were some recent movements like mobility, Internet of Things, cloud, and other events which caused the businesses to suddenly want to become more agile, who preferred simplicity, who preferred speed, who preferred freedom to innovate. DevOps is a new change in the shift how things are done. It's a totally different way compared to the previous model where we generally had two groups of people, developers and operations, where developers were simply caring about how to write the code, how and when to release new applications, how to update them. While operations, on the other side, was working on implementing new infrastructure, in operate existing infrastructure, and generally working really hard to make everything be as stable as possible. So generally, what is the problem with having two silos, developer silo and operational silo? All developers care are about writing software, about working code, libraries, their bi-weekly sprints. For them, the success is that software works and that everything was done on time. For operations, on the other hand, they care that everything is stable, they want everything standard-based, they want templates, and they don't want to be bothered in the middle of the night or during the weekends. So for them, the software must be stable, the service must work, backup and restore work, and everything is operating within defined thresholds. So if we look generally how these two groups cooperate together, we see that whenever development wants to make some changes, operations generally don't want any unneeded changes. They want things as stable as possible. And the problem is that businesses these days want everything to be much faster. For example, if you want to be DevOps friendly, you need to be able to release new code like 10, 20, 30, up to 50 times per day even, which is totally unheard in the traditional model where we used basically new deployment like every few months, maybe a few times per year, maybe even less than one time per year. Generally, the waterfall projects lasted anywhere between 6 to 18 months in general. So with the new model, things need to be much, much different. The code must be stable, all the steps must be properly documented, and so on. So if you look the calendar of both groups, we see that for the developers, they have their sprints. Every 2 weeks is basically a one unit of development, testing and everything. And then they start another batch of design, development and testing. While operations, on the other side, have only a few such windows where the change is done. They basically test things a lot before doing the deployment, and they need to be able to keep the system up and running and stable even during all those new deployments. So generally, we have two ways how to do things. The traditional waterfall project type, we have some time for the design, then we have some time for the code. After a long time of coding, we do the test, and then we do the deploy. As far as developers are concerned, basically after the test part, their job is mostly done, and the operations take over. While with the new way of doing, so-called agile project, we have design phase, we have shorter code phase, short test phase right after the coding phase, another design phase, another code phase and test and so on. So generally it's always going between design, code, test to deploy. And then it goes to the operations to actually deploy the code. Thank you for viewing part 1 of DevOps philosophy. Please continue with the second part of this presentation.